for these nonprofits who might not be able to afford some of the larger companies that do it.
So you must love Give Day because it's great exposure.
I do. It's great to see all these people here. It's wonderful to see all the local nonprofits. It's amazing.
Thank you. And from the Community Food Pantry, Monica Wilson.
Hi. The Community Food Pantry, we strive to serve people with dignity and grace by providing groceries, nutritional information, nursing information, and family counseling. We're on task to serve 30,000 people this year.
Where are you?
We are in Northwest Tampa. We serve all of the Northwest Quarter, all the way to the Pasco County line north, all the way to the Pinellas County line.
Are there income requirements?
There are not income requirements. If you're hungry, we're going to feed you and take care of you.
Okay. Everybody did a great job. We got it done in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. And we're going to wrap up this hour with one more look at the leaderboard. Good job. Lightning round number 2, and you know the rules. 30 seconds to tell us what you do and why donors should give to you. We start with Kathy from Voices of Hope for Aphasia.
I'm fortunate enough to be the founder of Voice Hope for Aphasia with my husband, Mike. He had a stroke at the early age of 50. With stroke and or brain injury, you lose your words and your communication skills, but not your intelligence. We needed to provide a program for people like Mike to be comfortable out in the community, to learn how to socialize again without their words.
Now?
Right now we have 50 members. We have 2 locations in St. Pete and now a new location in Dunedin.
Once again, a person who's taken their own personal situation, turned it into good works for others. Thank you very much. From the Franciscan Center, you are Sharon.
Yes. Hi, I'm at Franciscan Center. We're right in off the Hillsborough River. We're a spiritual retreat center. We're providing a place for anybody to come and use the facility for community, joy, and healing. And one of our primary programs is Operation Restore, which helps first responders who have gone through post-trauma. And we're in our 4th year. And they come out on a 4-day training program with Sister Ann Doherty, our president.
And why is this important to our health?
They give back to the community. It's one of our programs that we really strive to take part in, but they give so much, first responders, police officers, firefighters, and it's important to give back to them and their health.
Okay, thank you. Pink Dragon Ladies, there's an intriguing name.
Yes, that's the name of a dragon boat team made up of all breast cancer survivors, which also I am. And today with me in the seats are 2 twice survivors, one of them 3rd time, and we all paddle in the boat, and we just had a race this past weekend where we competed.
I would assume that you do this to raise money to help fight breast cancer?
We raise awareness about breast cancer and that there's life after breast cancer, and you can be active and enjoy camaraderie with like kind. And
got it, which is an important message to let people know,
important.
especially when they're first facing the disease. And tell me your name. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce
I'm Jenny Clark.
Hi, Jenny Clark. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And with the Tampa Bay Arts and Education Network, Mario
Nunez. Tampa Education Cable Consortium, doing business as the Tampa Bay Arts and Education Network. funds that are donated today will go towards art, education, culture, and history programming. I'm the creator and producer and host of the Tampa Native Show. It's a show dedicated to the history of Tampa, preserving that history. So we encourage all of our fans, Tampa Native Show fans, and anybody interested in perpetuating good quality art, cultural.
Where does one see the Tampa Native Show?
On Channel 32 Verizon, Channel 635 Spectrum on Thursdays at 2 p.m. live, 9 p.m. replay.
And there actually are Tampa natives.
Yes, so you're looking at one right here, fourth generation.
Okay, thank you everybody once again for doing a good job for 30 seconds. And that wraps it up for this hour of Give Day Tampa Bay. But stay tuned next hour for Lissette Campos. She will be hosting our live program. But most of all, log on to giveday.org anytime before midnight tonight and make a contribution to your favorite nonprofit organization. You can choose from over 500 organizations, and you'll be supporting those groups who keep the Tampa Bay area healthy and strong. Thanks for supporting Give Day, and we will see you in the next hour.
Welcome to Give Day Tampa Bay 2017, live from the WEDU studios at the Berkman Family Broadcast Center.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Give Day Tampa Bay 2017. My name is Lissette Campos, and I'll be your host for the next hour of our live streaming webcast. We are here at the WEDU studios in Tampa with representatives from some of over 500 nonprofits who are participating in Give Day Tampa Bay this year. The theme of Give Day is Live Here, Give Here, and making a donation is quick and easy. You just log on to giveday.org and search for your favorite charity from our list of participants. When you hit the donation button, you'll fill in your credit card information and make your secure gift. The minimum donation this year is only $5. Give Day will be going on until midnight tonight, and we'll be live streaming from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. In the next hour, I'll be talking and listening to various nonprofit groups who are making a difference in the Tampa Bay area. We begin with Marine Discovery Center in St. Petersburg. And joining us in the studio with more, we want to welcome Mark Luther and Melissa Dude. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us about the center, the mission, and the impact.
Yes. Well, the Marine Discovery Center is the reincarnation of the former Pier Aquarium in St. Petersburg. We were at the old St. Petersburg Pier for 25 years, and in that time period we brought over 4 million visitors through our small 2,200 square foot exhibit space. Our educational programs reached over 300,000 school kids, mostly from Title I schools. We are now moving into the former passenger terminal building at the Port of St. Petersburg on Bayboro Harbor, which is right next to the USF College of Marine Science.
Yes.
My day job, I'm on the faculty at the USF College of Marine Science, but I'm chairman of the board of directors for the Pier Aquarium, Inc., now doing business as the Marine Exploration Center. we're going to reconstitute all of those educational programs using marine science as a hook to get kids interested in science, technology, and math subjects.
As you get ready for that move, what would you say is the most important thing that you need and that our viewers can help you with by donating?
I believe that what we need right now are funds to help us complete our renovations. Once our renovations are complete, we will be able to open up the 8,000 square foot facility. Going to have interactive hands-on displays, live aquaria. School groups are going to be able to come through, both private as well as public schools can come through daily. We'll have a large event rotating display space as well that we're going to have guest lecture series coming through, a 3D video wall. We'll be able to show films and.
Right. And we're partnered with the Blue Ocean Film Festival. We'll be showing marine documentaries and short clips. We work with the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, which was responsible for most of the response to the BP disaster in the Gulf. Right. So we'll be doing videos, documentaries on that, permanent displays of real oceanographic instrumentation. Yeah.
Have been in our community for so long. The feedback that you've received from teachers, from families visiting, can you share some of that with us?
School groups just love to come through our doors and see all that we have to offer. Currently, since we do not have a facility, we're actually having to go out to schools and do our outreach education there. So it will be really exciting to be able to bring them back to our facility and showcase what's going on with research, science, and technology, not only in our local waters, but also globally. Right. And so I think just right now we need the support to actually get these renovations complete and done.
And what most people in this area don't realize is that this is one of the largest concentrations of marine science and technology professionals in the southeastern U.S., if not one of the largest ones in the U.S. Just in the area around downtown St. Petersburg, there's something like 1,600 people employed in some aspect of marine science and technology. And so part of our mission is to get that word out to the community and, again, to use that as a hook to get kids interested in science and technology.
Well, thank you for coming in and participating in Give Day Tampa Bay. It's
Thank
great
you
to
very
meet
much.
you and learn more about the programs. With our next guest being seated, we want to take you to the leaderboard and get an update on your totals. Give and give much. Good afternoon, everybody. Lots of activity here in the studios of WEDU as we are broadcasting live Give Day Tampa Bay 2017. The nonprofit with the most online donors between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. will get the $2,000 Power Lunch Hour prize that's being provided by TICO. To participate in that, you can go to giveday.org to support your favorite nonprofit, and do that now. And now in our studios, we want to transition over to interviewing our next local nonprofit. We are talking about the Trinity Cafe, and joining me in the studio at this hour is Mandy Cloninger, who is the executive director. Hi, Mandy. Trinity.
Hi, Lissette.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I love it when you all describe what Trinity Cafe does, because it's just so amazing how you help people with just a meal. It's not about the food, it's about the hope that you dispense.
Absolutely, Lissette. Our mission is to restore dignity to our hungry and homeless neighbors while serving a nutritious meal. And we do that every day right here during the lunch hour. Both of our locations are serving a chef-created, beautiful meal prepared. And when we restore dignity, we really build an intentional community around a dining room table that's focused on getting to know our guests by name. Our volunteers interact one-on-one. They serve that meal in 3 courses, but they also sit at that table to really make that guest sitting right next to them feel like the most important person in the room.
And many of them tell you that it's the first time they've felt like a real human being. Yeah. When they get that interaction.
With nearly 2,000 folks who struggle with homelessness in our community, many of them don't have a conversation on a daily basis. And that nutritious meal helps not only feed their body, but it also feeds their soul, because they're getting to interact and really get to know people.
The statistics are really important for some folks who are thinking, which organization do I contribute to, do I support? Explain to our viewers the impact of Trinity Cafe, how many meals are served.
Certainly. During our 16-year history, we've served more than 1.2 million meals with dignity. And every single day here at our 2 locations, we're serving nearly 400 guests with dignity. But more than that, it's a generous community that helps make that happen. We had nearly 14,000 volunteers who served with us last year. They gave nearly 35,000 hours of their time, and that's the experience that every guest who comes to the cafe. I had a guest, Randy, tell me a few weeks ago, he said, "You treat us like kings." And that's our goal each and every day, to make every guest feel special, to feel important, to feel loved. And our volunteers really help make that happen each and every day.
I know that you all work very hard to stretch every dollar. How are partnerships important to doing that? The average person, if we were to buy a certain amount of food, we can't buy as much as Trinity Cafe can because of partnerships.
Right, and we really couldn't do what we do on a daily basis and maintain a $2.50 per plate meal cost without very generous nonprofit partners like Feeding Tampa Bay, who helps us to procure food at the lowest price possible, but also donates fresh produce. We have Uriah Farms on board with us this year, Trader Joe's, and just many generous folks who help Chef Ben. When he's in that kitchen, it's his version of Chopped every single day. Right. He's making a beautiful meal and leveraging all the donations that we get to keep that cost per meal really low.
What would you say is the average age of the folks that are being helped by Trinity Cafe?
It really is a slice of life in our dining room, Lissette. Every single day we see children who struggle with hunger. School-age kids are with us during summer breaks, on the weekends, and we have folks who are on limited incomes, receiving disability, or might have medical issues. So I would say on any given day, you see someone as young as a baby to as old as your grandfather. You know.
Well, we certainly hope that our viewers will be watching and will help. We live in the most amazing community with nonprofits who are really helping to fill in the gaps when society goes away. We have a video to show you, and we would like to show that now. The video is prepared for you. The video shows interviews with folks who've been helped by the Trinity Cafe, and you can really, all of this was shot with permission from the folks, and they are happy to share the stories of how being part of the Trinity Cafe has helped to change their mindset, really help push them forward to regain their lives. What would you say is if folks are right now, they're in drive-thrus and in different places having lunch, even if a person contributed just $25, how would that help Trinity Cafe?
Well, $25 will serve 10 meals with dignity, not just today, but tomorrow and every single day in our community, so that there's a meal available. So if you're in need, you know you can send someone to Trinity Cafe and we'll be available to serve them. we have a very wonderful volunteer named Wayne who regularly goes online and makes $5 gifts and $10 gifts all throughout the year because he wants to make sure there's a couple of meals available for someone else in need. But what's even more beautiful about Wayne is 3 years ago he was a guest of ours. Wow. And now he works at Macy's and he regularly comes to volunteer with us. It works. And another volunteer bought him a personal apron with his name on it, and yet he refuses to wear it. He keeps it home to remind him of how far he's come. Wow. And that's the experience that your support will help make possible. We are participating in the TICO Power Hour, so I would encourage you, if you can give, go online and make a gift to Trinity Cafe and come serve with us. Volunteer your time as well. We all have time, talent, and treasure we can give, and we're proud to be a part of Give Day Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks,
it's so
Lissette.
nice to see you. Let's go to our leaderboard so that you can see how far we've come and how much more we have to go. And welcome back. Let's talk to some of the folks who are experts on Give Day, how it all works, and they can tell us how we're doing so far. We want to welcome the VP of Marketing, Wilma, who is joining with us, Wilma Norton. Thank you so much for taking time out. I know you're super busy. You're like the bumblebee buzzing around behind the scenes. How are we doing so far?
We're very excited about how well it's going today. We are just about to cross the $700,000 mark, and so that's great. And we've had thousands of people go online so far and give today. And that really, as you and I have talked about already today,
yes,
that's really a big emphasis for us this year, is to get in as many donors as possible. The money's an important part of Give Day, but the involvement of everybody in the community is so important.
And let's talk about the money for a minute. You all have made some changes this year, decreased the minimum so that folks can give to more than one, to different organizations. Explain to our viewers just how easy you all have made it for them. Once they go on that giveday.org, it's all there for you.
Well, one of the things we heard from our nonprofits in the past couple of years was that the $25 minimum was a barrier to some people who might be new to their organization, who just kind of wanted that first date, that trial relationship with the nonprofit. So this year the minimum donation is only $5. And so that's a great stepping stone for somebody who maybe hasn't given to charity before and isn't sure how it all works. So you just go to giveday.org, put in your credit card information, it's all secure, and we hope people will make a donation that is meaningful to them, and whether that is a $5 donation or a $50 donation or a $5,000 donation, you know, give to a cause that's meaningful to you in an amount that's meaningful.
And you make it really easy to connect with the organization that's meaningful to you. You've divided it into different groups.
Right. If you go on the website, they're divided into categories. There's animal welfare, education and youth development, community improvement, health and human services, and the environment. So in there, there's a whole range. Even in one of those categories, there's a complete range. As we've already heard today, so many amazing organizations that are doing very specific work in our community, and there's something on that list that's going to meet everybody's passion.
It's really incredible to hear the stories of what they're doing, and you think, how in the world do they do that?
How many times have you cried today?
Quite a few. Well, thank you so much for giving us the details, and we will continue to help you as you go behind the scenes and make all this magic happen.
Well, and we just want to thank everybody in the Tampa Bay area who has already given, and urge folks to really go to the website, take a look, and give as you can.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And there are lots of ways that individuals can decide that they need to start a nonprofit organization. We want to hear now another story about someone deciding that they needed to give back and help out.
The St. Pete Free Clinic has been in existence since 1970, so it's about 47 years old. It started with a group of volunteers who saw folks in the ER and other places who had nowhere to go for medical care. And so they found volunteer physicians and rented a house and began. Well, for all of those years, we've been a place where people who didn't have any other source of medical care could come. So if they didn't have Medicare or Medicaid or insurance or didn't qualify for the health plan, they could come and get good medical coverage from us when there was literally no place else to go. Since that time, though, we also started significant work in the areas of food and homelessness. So every year we touch probably 100,000 people through one of those services. But the very nature of our organization is that we're funded by philanthropic dollars, and a lot of our staffing is volunteer staffing, so we go where government dollars aren't. So, for instance, before the Affordable Care Act, we had more patients. When the Affordable Care Act really took hold, those numbers went down a bit. They certainly didn't go anywhere close to zero. There were still a lot of people in gaps. And we don't know what to expect in this next year to two, but we expect we will be seeing more patients. We've had homeless individuals who have said, my whole life I thought I was worthless, I thought I had no hope, I made bad choices, that made it that much worse, and I came to your women's residence and you all believed in me before I believed in myself. And now I can put my shoulders up and feel good about myself and know that I am a worthwhile individual, and I can work and I can support myself and I can make good choices. So they're really lives transformed, and that's very satisfying. Every dollar, every dime is stretched very far. So we have a very low expense ratio of administrative and fundraising expenses. And that's a commitment that every dollar that someone in the community gives us, we make sure goes a long way in helping our neighbors in need.
And they certainly do. The St. Petersburg Free Clinic was the birthplace, really, of the CASA St. Petersburg Domestic Violence Center that is saving lives every single day. Our next nonprofit on Give Day Tampa Bay is Creative Clay in St. Petersburg. They've been a big part of our community for several years and have a number of activities and artists working right now. We want to go live to reporter Gina Presson, who is going to tell us what's new at Creative Clay. Hi, Gina.
Hi, Lissette. Gina Preston out here at Creative Clay, and I'm with Kim Dorman, Executive Director of the organization, and Dolores, the artist. And this is a place where they want to make art accessible to everyone. So, Kim, can you tell me a little bit about what you do here at Creative Clay and what's your mission?
Yeah, sure. We serve people with disabilities through the arts, and our whole goal is to get everyone so that they understand the business of being an artist. They know how to market themselves and sell their work, and therefore creating a purpose and identity for people who might not have had that luxury. So,
and Dolores is one of those artists. And how has this organization made a difference in your life?
Well, as of 12 years now, I started off just as a member artist, and I really developed and got through my bad low self-esteem, and it took me years to overcome it, and with my arts to express myself and to be around people who understand me without questioning me or judging me. So I was able to not afraid to make mistakes. Not that there is any real mistakes in the world of art, but I just kept going, and I did so fantastic work, and I've done many interviews and TV shows. And I am so grateful for Creative Clay allowing me to continue to come here. And as through the years, I ended up having to be an art teacher now.
And you're an ambassador, and you get paid for your work. What's that like, to get a paycheck for what you love to do?
Well, I really don't think about the money. It's the fruits of my labor is when people smile or buy a piece of my artwork or give me some their opinion or their advice and how to even produce myself even more and more and more and higher. And I thank very much for Craig Clay and Kim Dormy to allow me to be on TV and speak of everyone and all the member artists. I am here for them, and they are here for me.
Now, Kim, she's not alone in all this. Tell us some more about what kind of a difference this program makes in the lives of the member artists.
Well, I think when she says it's not about the money, but for a lot of the folks that we serve, they've never had an opportunity to have a job out in the world. And what we create here is a community of artists working together. And one of my favorite days is when we give out the paychecks. And they get all their commission checks for all the artwork they've sold in a month. And it's just a really heartwarming, beautiful day. Right? I mean, it's not about the money, but the money's good, right? The money helps.
Good. It's good. We need it, right?
Yeah, we do. So the member artists behind us, they're part of a group called Transitions. Can you describe what that program is doing?
It's a partnership we've had with Pinellas County School System now for 9 years. And this is a vocational training program, and it's the only one of its kind in Pinellas County.
And they also have summer camp, and it's inclusive for kids from 3 to 12, I believe. And then there's a studio class for kids older than that. And then tonight, if you want to meet Dolores in person and do some great fundraising for this organization, they're going to be live at Ferg's from 6 to 8. There'll be bowling and drinks and great opportunity to give back. Thanks so much, and call up for our group here at Creative Clay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Thanks, everybody. Gina reporting from Creative Clay in St. Petersburg. While our next guests are being seated, we want to take you once again to the leaderboard and get an update on the totals that we have so far. We are back at the interview table with our next guest, Job Site Theater in Tampa. Joining us with more is Mr. David Jenkins. Hi, David.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
So what's your elevator speech for the person who says, what is Job Site Theater?
Well, we're the resident theater company at the Straz Center. We're the resident professional theater company at the Straz. We do a full season of programming, everything from like classics to cutting edge new work in between their Schimberg and Jabe theaters.
How long have you all been at the Straz Center?
We will be entering our 15th season as a resident theater company in this coming year, so we're really excited about that.
How do you all work with the community to make sure that the importance of the performing arts and culture gets across?
We really try a multi-tiered approach to all of this. One thing that we do that we really believe in is using the theater as a public forum, a place for people to come together and talk about ideas. It's one thing to sort of see someone else's story in front of you. They may not be you, they may not have the same values or the same lived experience, but to bear witness to that in a room full of other people, we try to use that as a place then to talk about these things by bringing in scholars and guest lecturers and people from the community who have some experience with whatever that topic is, and then it's a chance for everybody to kind of come together and grapple with that and talk about those things and those issues and learn from each other. That's a very important part of what we do, and then clearly we do a lot of educational outreach that we've been developing for the past few years to supplement what they're getting in the schools, as well as, train the future audiences and citizens, which is super important. I never thought I would say this, but middle schoolers lately have been, no, I know it's great, right? Like I used to substitute teach and I used to hate going into middle schools. But the middle schoolers, because they still have enough of an imagination that hasn't kind of been beat out of them yet, that they'll still kind of go with imagination, and yet their intellect is doing some really interesting things. St. Peter Claver we do work with, and they're absolutely one of my favorite schools to go to. The kids there are just great,
To the viewer at home, if they make a donation to Job Site Theater now,
Right.
what would you say is the most important thing that they need to know how their dollars will be used by Job Site?
I try to make this as simple as possible, but it's a forward response answer. One, it keeps our ticket prices down so that it keeps things affordable for everybody. We believe theater should be accessible to everyone, not people who can just afford an expensive ticket. The second thing it does is it improves the quality of our work. With more, we can do better. The third thing is it allows us to go into schools and do the outreach that we do. For instance, a gift of $100 totally covers the cost of me sending a teaching artist out into a school all day for a specifically tailored project for that classroom. So that's very substantial. And then, of course, all of these things ensure that our artists are getting an ever-improving quality of life.
That's quite an impact, $100. I mean, that's
$100 donation really does. That's a full day for a school.
The coffee shop for a couple of weeks, and then you're impacting the lives of teenagers.
Right, Orange Grove Middle or whomever that might be.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in, David.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck, and thank you for coming and explaining the wonderful work that you all are doing at Job Site Theater.
Thank you for your work today.
Thank you. And let's take another look at the leaderboard to get an update on your total donations. Remember, give and give big on giveday.org. We continue to interview the local nonprofits that are participating in Give Day Tampa Bay. More than 550 participating this year. And now we transition over to Cristo Rey Tampa. And we have two students and the president and CEO of the school, Charlie Bergamo. And we also want to welcome Carla Nurias and Christian Romero. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
For Christian and Carla, can you tell me how old you are and what grade you are in?
Well, I am 15 years old and I'm in the 9th grade.
9th grade?
I'm 15 years old and I'm in 9th grade.
In 9th grade too. Charles, I'm not going to ask you how old you are and what grade you're in, but tell our viewers the job that you all do at the school and why it's so different, and our viewers should consider donating to you.
Cristo Rey Tampa High School is a brand new program in town. We're part of a national network of 31 other schools, providing a private faith-based, in this case Catholic education to students of Catholic faith, no faith at all, or other faith denominations, to provide a great academic program and a corporate work study component. So our students here and 80 of their classmates, that we started with a freshman year this year, so we only have freshmen. These two young people and 80 of their classmates both go to school during the week, and they're all employed in corporations here in our community. So we have 26 corporate work partners who are working with us right now. So they each go to school 4 days a week, and then on one day, for the whole day, they're working in the community. So we're a school and a job placement agency.
Well, let's talk about that. Christian, I'll start with you. What is your job?
Well, I work at Gilbert Garcia Law Group, so I I interned there on Tuesdays. So basically, they started me out small, scanning, you know, the usual.
There's no small job.
Right.
We all started small,
Yeah.
and then we move up. What is it that you would like to do when, I don't want to say when you grow up, but as you're an adult, do you see yourself practicing law?
I don't know. I mean, it's an entertaining job. So I mean, it's really nice, you know. Different view, like that's the thing about the school. Like it gives you different views on whatever you want to do in the future. So like you could, one day you can want to be like in the military, but you could be a lawyer or something. So you know,
Presents you with different options.
Right.
Carla, what is the job that you do?
I work at BSC Global in marketing.
In marketing?
Yes. I don't see myself as like working in marketing, but I do like it. It's really fun.
One of the things that the students have said is that it gives them a chance to interact with others. They learn to do public speaking, time management, and that's what it's all about, just addressing the needs of the mind and the soul as well, their spirit, isn't it?
Absolutely. One of the things, before coming here, I was with one of our corporate work study partners, and one of the things that we're finding, both from the students and from the partners, is the way in which the interaction is happening is really growing them in terms of their ability to work and understand what that is. But our partners are really being touched in a great way by our students. And so it's a real mutual benefit that we're providing, and it's a win-win for everyone, because the students are getting real work experience that can then help transform their education. And it keeps us honest in the educational enterprise, too, to be sure that we're really teaching them the skills that they'll need for their future.
And you all are so lucky to be able to have that internship experience in high school. So many young folks don't get that until they get to college, you know. So thank you for coming in, and congratulations on all the great work being done at Cristo Rey Tampa. While our next guests are getting ready to be seated, we're going to take you back again to the leaderboard to get an update on the totals that are coming in so far. And welcome back. We are now visiting with our friends from Autism Shifts, a nonprofit based right here in Tampa. Joining us in the studios, we want to welcome Tony Aponte, Vicky Westra, and Lori Stem. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Explain the mission of Autism Shifts.
Well, the mission is to literally shift the outcome for those with autism here in Tampa Bay. Right now we're seeing about a 90% unemployment rate, 70% dependent living, and little to no community integration. So we are out to make a change.
I love it the way you focus on the shift. And clearly, you know, you're coming from a place that we need to do a better job.
That's correct.
So what are the biggest obstacles that folks with autism face, and how are you all addressing that?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty with autism. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of stigma about what they're not capable of doing, and we're looking to change that too. We started a cafe program, Artistas Cafe, inside the Mercedes-Benz of Tampa dealership, and every day these young people that work there are showing what it looks like, and it's autism at work. And that's what really we want, autism at work and independent.
I know that our cameras and our crews from ABC Action News have been at the cafe, and they love it, not just because the cafe is really good, but also because everybody's smiling, and folks are so grateful to be a part of something that's making such a positive impact in people's lives. Tony, how do you describe the help that you've received?
Well, aside from very helpful, I would describe it as life-changing, to be honest. First off, it was my first job, so it's a great start.
Mm-hmm.
I might not have been able to learn as much as I did had I started out somewhere else.
Right.
They probably wouldn't have been as accommodating.
Right. But you've been able to have wonderful experiences with all the folks that come in. What's your favorite part about your job?
Well, this one's more recent than others, but being able to use my camera during my shift on occasion, provided it's not too busy, to actually do what I love while working.
That's wonderful.
You can't ask for a better combo than that.
Lori, it must be music to your ears to hear Tony talk about it that way.
It really is, because what we're really doing, the Artistas Cafe was the original concept, and it's expanded into such a much larger program that is incorporating businesses and really helping them develop what their understanding what autism is and the value of these young individuals with autism, because there is a lot of fear and stigma around it, and we are shifting that. We're shifting the perspective for the businesses.
So many times we've talked during Give Day that this is not, the money is very important. But it's not just about the money. For the person at home who is watching this and thinking, how can I help? For the business owner, tell the business owner how they can be a part of this.
Well, they can actually sign up. We're actually doing training for the businesses to become autism ready. And our mayor right here in Tampa has had a huge initiative to be able to make our entire community autism ready. So that is just one part of what they are going to actually be able to learn, is the skill sets, the unique abilities. We actually have coined the phrase of what their unique ability is, and then how to plug them into a job that they are skilled at, that they can be actually even more productive than possibly even neurotypical individuals.
So for the business owner, the employees, they don't have to have all the answers. You all come in and you train them and make sure it's a good fit.
Correct. That's correct. Because we see so many talents and abilities. Tony's and videography is just one. We have artists, that have created some amazing artwork. Artists with autism.
Can you show that to the camera? That's beautiful.
And that's one of our artistas. So we've seen so many different talents and abilities come through the cafe. We're just excited to get them out and plug them into what they love to do and what they can do really well.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. Tony, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
We're excited. We're the first autism ready community and ever.
Unique ability. I think that's something that we should all focus on.
Yes.
That's for
Each
sure.
one of ours.
Thanks for coming in, and congratulations. Good
thank
luck.
you for having us.
And we're going to take a look at the leaderboard while we get our next guest, our next group of guests ready to be seated. We want you to see just how much has come in terms of donations, so that you can see that we are doing well, but we've got a lot more to go. So please give. Welcome back, everybody. We continue with our visits with local nonprofits benefiting from this year's Give Day Tampa Bay, now in year 4. Last year, they raised over $2 million and helped approximately 600 nonprofits. At this hour, I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Kirk Ray Smith, who's the president and CEO of Religious Community Services, which is the umbrella organization for the Haven of RCS Domestic Violence Center that we all work so closely with at ABC Action News. Thank you, first and foremost, for all that you all do to help victims and survivors of domestic violence.
Absolute honor.
How do you describe the many programs that you all have without, overwhelming the person? You do quite a bit.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, our mission is really to feed the hungry. We try to help families facing homelessness return to self-sufficiency. And we really wanted to empower survivors of domestic violence. And we do that in Pinellas County by serving over 115,000 people on an annual basis, which is about 15% of all of Pinellas County. And we do it in three distinct, we have four, but sort of three programs, which you mentioned, the Haven, which is really around empowering victims and what we call victim survivors of domestic violence, but also families facing homelessness through our Grace House. So we have the Haven, the Grace House, and then, of course, our food bank, which is we're the largest food distributor in Pinellas County. So not only do we have a food bank, but I think we support nearly about 65 to 70 other food banks throughout the county. And then our fourth sort of program, if you will, is our thrift store. So
RCS has been around for such a long time. Yeah. This year is a big year, celebrating 50 years.
50 years, yeah, we're really excited. And one thing that's been consistent about RCS is that 92 cents of every dollar goes back to the mission. So we really keep our overhead is nominal, and that way we're able to deliver our mission. And the only way we're able to do that is because we have about 2,500 volunteers that we rely on each year.
Right. So give our viewers an example of how their donation can go a long way. Your average person is sitting maybe at a drive-through getting, a burger or something for lunch and spending maybe $7-10 on lunch. Yeah. You all can do quite a bit with that.
Yes, we can. And I will say that to me, it's really only two types of people on earth: those in need and those that are in a position to help those in need. And so if you're on the latter side of that and you're able to help, every dollar goes a very, very long way. So as you put, a $7 meal at McDonald's could probably feed a family for at least 3 days at RCS. And so that's incredible. And a number of our families, they're working families. They look like me and you. There is no poster child for RCS. They look just like any of us. But, they need a helping hand. And so many of them, they come to our food bank, and it's kind of like their version of Publix, if you will. So believe me, $7 can go a very, very long way.
The food insecurity is such a real thing that our families are facing. How do you describe that to our viewer at home so that they can understand just how dire the need is?
Well, the reality is, again, our participants, there really is no way to describe our participants because, again, they look like you and I. We understand that if you're hungry, for example, young people, if they're hungry, they don't perform well in school.
That's right.
So there is a correlation between social interaction and academic performance. So if kids aren't hungry, they learn, right? And so that's important. So many of our young people, they struggle in school simply because they're hungry. And so we try to address needs, not only just feeding families, but empowering families, because our hope is that we never have to see them again. That's my desire, is that if you come to us once, we hope that we can help you get on your feet and never have to see us again. And one other thing I would like to mention is that 9 out of 10 of the families that live in our homeless shelters or homeless communities, they go on to permanent housing after staying with us for about 8 weeks or so. So we're really, really proud of what we do every day.
You all are looking at a really busy time.
Yes.
Give Day happens May 2nd, and as soon as school is out, the demand for your services
increases.
Triples.
Yes.
Explain that to our viewers who don't understand the connection between school break and the work that goes on at the food banks.
Well, at the food bank in particular, so again, a lot of our young people, they're not receiving like structured, consistent meals outside of the school environment.
The breakfast and
so
the lunch
breakfast
at school.
and the lunch, and even nutrition. So you have some families that may have food, but it's a lot of snacks and unhealthy items, and so that happens. So that's another problem that sort of exasperates the issue. So yes, so in the summertime we see the need go up, and they're more and more dependent on us, which is actually our most difficult time because donations tend to sort of recede during that time of the year, and so we really need support. So this couldn't be more timely.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you.
Likewise.
You guys do amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
We've had the pleasure of working very closely with the advocates at the Haven of RCS, and they are just superheroes, really. Thank you. And while our next guests are getting ready to be seated, we want to go once again to the leaderboard so that you can get an update on the totals that have come in so far. Okay, welcome back. So this is my first shot at the lightning round, so hopefully I'll do this well. This is the time when the nonprofits get 30 seconds to tell us about their organizations and why you at home should support them on Give Day Tampa Bay. We're going to start with Mr. Magic Ismaili, who is the owner of Zaxi Bird Sanctuary. So 30 seconds. Tell us about that.
We get over 100 phone calls sometime per day to rescue birds. We rescue falcon, parrots, and many times they drop it at our gate. So one of the things is, please don't drop your bird at our gate. And the other thing is, I finance 90% of all the costs right now. Wow. They need food, they need bigger cage, and they deserve better life.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to turn over to Elizabeth Good, who is with beautiful Allison from Seventh Mom Project, Inc.
We're with the Seventh Mom Project, Incorporated, and we support moms suffering through postpartum depression and anxiety. So we help link moms to social support groups, to caregivers, providers, doctors, therapists that have training in perinatal mood disorders. It is Perinatal Mental Health Awareness Week. So we'd love everybody to support and help us break the stigma. And financially, we love all the support so that we can keep supporting moms who support families, who support communities.
Thank you. And now we want to go over to Denise Barunji of the Hillsborough County Anti-Drug Alliance.
Hillsborough County Anti-Drug Alliance is a substance abuse prevention education coalition that teaches the families and youth. But we wanted to get some funding or give back to us in the community for some money for Friday Night Downright, which is a social marketing campaign that helps youth to understand that they can have fun without doing drugs. This is something we do for fun. We want to just train them, educate them about substance abuse, but also show them they can have fun without doing drugs. These are some of the things we do in our community. We go skating, we go bowling, we have been going to fun playing, but most of these things are not funded through our grants that we have through Hillsborough County Anti-Drug Alliance.
So that's where our viewers can help. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the leaderboard that wraps it up for this hour of Give Day Tampa Bay. But stay tuned in the next hour for Ernest Hooper, who will be hosting our live program. And let's see how many times he says, "That's all I'm saying." Hi, Ernest. GiveDay.org. Anytime, donate before midnight tonight and make a contribution to your favorite nonprofit organization. You can choose from over 500 local nonprofits, and you'll be supporting those groups who keep the Tampa Bay area healthy and strong. Thanks for supporting Give Day. We'll see you in the next hour.
Good afternoon and welcome to Give Day Tampa Bay 20